without giving away all our secrets, we've got lots of new products that are coming out. Thanks for having me on here, guys. Much appreciated. So my name's Sam Kerrins. I'm COO and part of the founding team with Cast. At Cast, we're essentially building a global bank powered by stablecoins. At the moment, we're offering our services to over 150 countries, and we're always looking to expand more. So what we've seen over the last few years was people all around the world, they have a great need and desire to trade goods and services globally, not just locally. And current banking, it was just not up to standard. Some examples of that may be, I'm based in Australia. I want to send money to my brother who's living in Turkey. To send money, Australian dollars from my bank, cross-border to a Turkish bank, and potentially moving it via FX into Turkish lira, it could take anywhere from a week to 2 weeks. So if you think sending your money from me to you, and we're a 12-hour flight or a 15-hour flight, and that money's taking potentially 10 days to get there, it's just not a good experience. On top of that, on average, some of the fees from start to finish could be 6 to 8%. So if you factor in those two things, I'm just trying to send my own money to potentially my brother, who I've grown up with for my whole life, and you're telling me it's going to take 2 weeks and I'm going to lose 8%. It's just not okay. Yeah. So factoring in these things, lots of people have been turning to stablecoins. So stablecoins, in particular the US dollar backed stablecoins, it removes that friction for people. It gives them the power to move their money globally a lot faster. It's near instant and a lot cheaper. You're not paying 8% if I want to send you 100 USDT or 100 USDC. It's costing a fraction. It's nowhere near 8%. So I think when we saw the power of what stablecoins could do, we then see what a company like Cast is able to do. The niche we believe we have found is, sure, stablecoins fix a problem, but there was still friction and the user experience is still not perfect in obtaining stablecoins. So an example here may be, you need to still use a local exchange. Yeah. For what I like to call a non-crypto bro. Yeah. It's not completely simple to go to an exchange, deposit local currency, and you may have to go on an order book. And again, for someone who's not traded or not a crypto bro, just looking at an order book could be enough to scare you away. And then they would still need to move those funds. So again, if you've been on an exchange and you click withdraw, you'll see 15 different chains. And to, again, a non-crypto bro, you might see that and just get scared and say, this is too hard. So, this is where we found Cast had an area. Yeah. Via removing that last mile friction of obtaining stablecoins and sending stablecoins, we built Cast, and we feel if we can create an app that looks and feels like a bank, powered by stablecoins, we give the end user the exact same experience that they're familiar with a bank, but we give them the upside of stablecoins and blockchain. So yeah, that's a little bit about Cast, what we're doing, and why we think it's succeeding at the moment and into the near future as well.
Perfect. I mean, I want to tie into the stablecoin use case where you mentioned that you want to send, for example, money to your brother from Australia to Turkey, let's say. So I've read somewhere that around 500 million actually US dollars were sent as remittances between the US and Mexico just last year. And how do you see like this stablecoin narrative basically, or the role of stablecoins evolving throughout the next 5 years, and how does Cast fit in that vision? I mean, where do you see yourself as well?
Yeah, so if you factor in today, I believe there's approximately 230 billion of stablecoins, US dollar-backed stablecoins. In the next few years, we strongly believe that can move to $1 trillion very quickly. That's 5x from now, slightly less. So we believe whether that's going to take 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, that's going to happen. And then that 1 trillion is going to turn to 2 trillion, and it's going to keep going up. The adoption is obviously here. You look at the historic figures of the last few years. It's just constantly going up at a rapid rate. What we're also trying to build at Cast to nurture this adoption is, we believe if we build an app so simple that it's going to create stablecoin adoption via end users that may not even understand stablecoins. And we think that's where real scale can come into stablecoins, when individuals who don't even understand what a stablecoin or what the blockchain is potentially uses an app like Cast, and they're contributing to stablecoin growth without even understanding that they're doing that.
Yeah, it's like basically onboarding.
Yeah.
And like not just onboarding normies, but also like crypto guys that have been in the space for years. I mean, while we were discussing earlier, I mentioned that, for example, in England, in the UK, banks tend to shadow ban people that use cryptocurrencies, for example. And that really makes it difficult, this whole idea that we're going to have this mass adoption. But we love the fact that companies like Cost are helping in terms of removing all those barriers that people have in a day-to-day basis. And it's not just the UK, but almost every country, I mean. And at the same time, when it comes to normies or non-crypto bros, it's all about making a simple user experience and a user interface. And while we were passing by the Cost stand here in the conference, we saw like the Solana themed cards, and they looked super cool. Like, even if I wasn't in crypto, I would like stop by and see what these things are. So could you talk a bit and tell us more about these cards?
Yeah, sure. So we have a card team that, and a design team that's pushing the boundaries in what these cards, look and feel like. They're very impressive. If you've picked up the metal cards and seen them, they're incredible. So we have a few tiers of our cards. So our base tier card, we have K card. So it's a silver Cast branded card. And we also have the Solana K card. It's Solana branding. So it's those two are plastic. We then go up into our next tier, and they're metal cards. They're pretty cool. They're heavy. They're they're not the lightweight plastic cards. Yeah. They're heavy. They look good. They look nice. They're slick. And then we have our very top range premium cards, which you may have seen on display here. Oh, yeah. If not, you need to grab a quick clip of the gold card. Yeah. So we have those on show now as well. So they're our top, some of our top tier cards that we're starting to release now.
So now we've mentioned Solana. I wanted to ask you, is the whole idea of your project to be like Solana exclusive, or is it going to be like multi-chain?
Yeah, so even in our app today, you can deposit funds on Solana, on Tron, on Ethereum, and Polygon. So, we are supporting several chains, but we are also seeing great adoption and great traction via the Solana network.
Perfect. And see, being basically a debit card, credit card, whatever comes to basically managing the money and using that money to send it abroad, international remittances and everything, comes with many implications, right? So I don't want to put you on the spot or anything, but how do you manage this user trust? Because crypto is still an experimental industry, right? Some projects fail, malicious individuals do what they do, but how do you convince even the people who are watching right now? How do you convince them that you guys are actually doing it right?
Yeah. So look, we partner with the strongest companies we can possibly find in this industry. So we use BitGo to custody our customer stablecoins, and through these relationships with incredibly strong and reliable partners, we believe that's going to help give great confidence to our user that firstly we know what we're doing, and secondly that all of our partners do as well. Yeah. Customer funds is obviously the crux of your question there, and we feel using BitGo we're safe, our customers are safe, and we're not looking to cut any corners in these areas.
Well, I also looked at the team, and you're everywhere. You have like this global team all the way to Sri Lanka, and so I wanted to ask you, what are like the values of the company, like internally, that you think make what you do successful and stand out from, let's say, the competition?
Yeah, our team is incredible, individually and together. The work our senior leaders from the top all the way to every role work together is incredible. We're very proud that there's very little to no politics at our company. And individuals that come in, there's an expectation that they come in, they hit the ground running, that they're hungry, that they work hard. Someone sitting there counting the minutes or watching the clock till 5:01 p.m. Like that's not essentially how we operate. We have an incredibly hardworking team, and that's across every department.
That's, I mean, a necessity in crypto, because this industry is just chaotic. So how do you think that like the traditional finance, the one that we are using right now, and crypto will overlap? Will they coexist? Because personally I think they must coexist, even for the like next century, right? It's impossible to just topple a whole financial system. I think they will coexist, but what about you? Like, what are some insights or some opinions that you have on this specific matter?
Yeah, I think if you look at the Cast product, we're not advertising that we're going to replace banking.
Yeah.
We're looking at bridging the gap between call it old and call it new. If we can show our expertise and specialize in making it seamless from people to move between the two, that at times people may not even understand which side they're even on. And that's where we think, I know I touched on this before, the adoption really scales. But yeah, we're still expecting that the original banking system is going to continue. Of course, I agree with you.
So we wouldn't be wanting to take much more of your time, so I have one final question for you.
Sure.
Where do we see Cost in the next 10 years? I mean, in your eyes.
Yeah, you'll definitely be seeing Cast for the next 10 years, is what I'll say firstly.
Perfect.
Without giving away all our secrets, we've got lots of new products that are coming out. In the very near future, you'll be able to save in our app, for example. In the longer term, you're going to see some fancy cards. You're going to see a banking-like experience. And I truly believe you're going to see Cast grow significantly over the next 5 to 10 years, while stablecoins and cryptocurrency grows as well.
Yeah, well, I love it. I mean, companies like Cost help people understand that the misconceptions that they have on this industry, like you guys, alleviate all those issues. And we love builders, and we love companies that make everything seem as easy as sending an email, for example. So, well, thank you, Sam, so much for allocating some time to have a discussion with us, and we hope that we'll see Cost in the next 10 years like the leader when it comes to stablecoin payments and all that.
Thank you very much for having me, guys.